You think that audio that they put out was real?
Yeah, that was him. That Nicki recorded that at the freak off in the Calabasas. She been waiting to drop that shit on Meek. She just wasn't gonna tell nobody it was Diddy. But now that Diddy out there.
Nicki may have crowned herself the queen of rap in the industry, but she's more like a pawn in the game of chess to the industry's gatekeepers. While we think it's all about making music and topping charts, disturbing activities go on behind the scenes. These disturbing activities include celebrities who are seen as big deals getting relegated to a different position. And that's where things get tricky. Hold on to your hats, because the things you're about to hear will blow your mind. Everyone is quite familiar with Diddy's alleged unsettling strings of shady activities over the years. But with Nicki Minaj in the mix, things get more complicated. Let's dive into the story. Nicki is known to be one of the big names in the industry, but compared to the likes of Diddy and Jay-Z, that has been running the show since the 90s, Nicki knows better than to not be careful around these guys. But it's impossible that their paths have not crossed in the past. In fact, their paths didn't just cross. They had a bit of an impact on each other. But mind you, it wasn't a positive impact. Okay, to stop beating around the bush, let's lay it out straight. Nicki Minaj has been in Diddy's den before. If you're confused about the den usage, you might want to pay more attention to the tea we are about to spill. Diddy's den can easily be likened to the group of participants in his freak-off sessions. Diddy allegedly handpicks anyone who catches his eye and feels will be up to the task. Oh yeah, Nicki's attractive looks cannot be denied, so being around Diddy was an actual problem for her. If you're wondering how Diddy and Nicki's closeness came to be, that's not a hard one. Many people aren't aware that Diddy once took up the role of Nicki's manager some years ago. After the release of Nicki's Pink Friday album, Diddy assumed the role of being her manager. But guess what? It didn't end on a good note. Surprisingly, it didn't last long. Diddy was asked to take his leave within a few months of managing Nicki. Nicki and Diddy parted ways and did their things differently. So what could have made Nicki ask the big and mighty Sean Puffy Combs to stop being her manager? You might want to keep that question in mind, because it will be answered soon. Okay, so Nicki thought she was done with Diddy, but that wasn't the case. A few years after Diddy and Nicki had parted ways, Meek Mill came into the picture, and their relationship was ignited again. To make it clear, Diddy and Meek Mill weren't joined at the hip, but there was a fine line of connection between them. It stemmed from Meek Mill being signed under Jay-Z's record label, and Diddy being Jay-Z's best friend. Their relationship was assumed to have started from that, but it grew deeper than everyone had thought, from Meek Mill being a friend signee to allegedly being one of Diddy's boy toys. Before you think about how that is possible, let's remind you about Lil Rod's lawsuit against Diddy. After Cassie was initially the first person to stir the pot against Diddy and his disturbing behavior, Lil Rod went further, as he dropped a bombshell about Diddy's character behind the scenes. In February 2024, Lil Rod spilt the beans that Diddy has been a homosexual person over the years behind the scenes. But that's not even the problem. The problem, as perceived by everyone, was his partners, and the way he allegedly coerced some uninterested individuals into participating in his shenanigans. In Lil Rod's court documents, he mentioned how Diddy also tried to coerce him into being one of his partners by promising to help him get nominated and win the Grammy Award for Best Producer. Like that wasn't wild enough, there's still more. Lil Rod also recounted how Diddy once told him about other celebrities who have agreed to be his boy toys over the years. In Lil Rod's court documents, he didn't say the names of the celebrities outrightly, but his puzzle was clear enough to know the people he was talking about. The document read that some of Diddy's boy toys included a rapper from Philadelphia who had dated Nicki Minaj in the past, and an R&B singer who had performed at the Super Bowl and had a successful Vegas residency. Interestingly, Meek Mill is a rapper from Philadelphia who had dated Nicki in the past. Usher is the R&B singer who performed at the Super Bowl and had a successful Vegas residency around the time the lawsuit was filed. Don't be surprised just yet. Things take a darker turn from this part. While the internet went wild over the news, someone considered defending himself in the deep controversy, and that person was Meek Mill. Meek Mill went into a complete meltdown over the news, while Usher kept quiet to allow the news to fade away slowly. Meek felt the need to defend himself. Meek went on a long rant about the situation on the X platform. With different tweets, Meek kept proving he wasn't homosexual, and people shouldn't believe Lil Rod's claim. One of Meek's tweets read, "I would trash any celebrity if they tried wild move on me. No pics literally go crazy on them. That is all. I'm from Philly. Always watch me around this wild-ass industry." There were more and more tweets from Meek. But at the end of the day, it seemed like he had just wasted his time. Social media users didn't even give him the breathing space to have a way to paint the picture of him being innocent. Instead, his actions were perceived as defensive to tackle Lil Rod's claim. Meek claimed they were just hating on him in the industry, which was why they put Lil Rod up to the task of ruining his image when he was just about to drop an album. He even went as far as claiming no one could ever dare to try the homosexual stuff with him. Okay, Meek, we hear you. But with the audio that leaked right after Meek's defense, things went downhill really quickly. After Meek's rant, there were two opinions. While most believe that Lil Rod exposed the truth, some people felt Meek could have been telling the truth too. But shortly after, an audio clip surfaced on the internet, and Diddy and Meek's sexuality became a topic again. The audio featured Meek and Diddy allegedly getting intimate. This type of intimacy wasn't the romantic type of intimacy. It was next-level freakiness. Diddy had handled Meek in the bedroom like he owned his backside. While the freaky session went on, the voice that belonged to Meek didn't sound like he was enjoying the action that was happening with his backside. But whether Meek felt pain or discomfort, Diddy really didn't care, as long as he got his satisfaction from the freaky session. Yeah, that was like Meek was getting assaulted by Diddy sexually. So this completely set the ball rolling that Meek Mill isn't as straight as he claimed. Y'all remember the part where there's the question of what happened between Diddy and Nicki that made them part ways? Okay, here's the answer. Diddy doesn't only get freaky with these men. His ritual freak-off sessions also involve women getting into some wild activities with whoever he desires, whether himself or his guests, or even S-workers. So word on the street is that Diddy had pushed the agenda of being one of the participants to Nicki. But knowing Nicki and her stand, she couldn't follow Diddy's plan, so she cut him off and severed their ties. From allegedly being verbally abusive towards Nicki, to him also being physically abusive towards her. It was a roller coaster of bad luck in Nicki's life at the time, but it's the queen of rap. She got her lick back in her own way. Nicki got her hands on a few jaw-dropping secrets, while she was Meek's +1 to his outings, especially Diddy's parties. According to Jaguar Wright, Nicki was the one who recorded the audio that was leaked years ago. Jaguar dropped the location and all other information needed regarding the audio. However, Jaguar's story seems like it wasn't adding up, because one of Diddy's former bodyguards had posted a video where he claimed he was the one that recorded the audio at the time it happened.
Like, all the champagne was spiked. Everybody was passed the fuck out. I don't drink, so I was playing that shit off like I don't fucking drink. I smoke, nigga. Like, I smoke and I had my own weed, but like everybody was passed out. Yo, Diddy had that man in the room. Look, yes.
Anyway, Jaguar was questioned about that during the interview, and she ruled it out, saying the security was paid to take the fall for Nicki exposing her former manager Diddy and her former lover Meek Mill. Okay, that was a big twist, but we can all agree that it's plausible Nicki could have been the one who recorded it. Remember Nicki's relationship with Meek Mill. It didn't end well. Nicki went from silently exiting the relationship to Meek acting like the victim. At first, it was the same on Meek's side. But when Nicki wanted to release a documentary about her life, Meek got rattled and felt the need to do something. In 2021, Nicki had put out teasers and trailers about a tell-all documentary on HBO that would give more details on her personal life and career over the years. But it was abruptly canceled.
What's up, y'all? It's Onika Tanya Mirage, and I'm very excited to finally share with you guys that my docuseries is coming to HBO Max! And it's going to give you guys a raw, unfiltered look at my personal life and my professional journey.
Word on the street was that it got canceled due to Diddy and Jay-Z's influence. If you're wondering why, well, let's just say Jay-Z loves to protect his artists, and Diddy loves to protect his image. Nicki was going to definitely talk about the things she had gone through and witnessed when she dated Meek Mill, but they couldn't let that happen. Jay-Z's artist and Diddy would be exposed, which would have been a disaster at the time. Interestingly, the disaster still happened, but it was not from Nicki. So when Nicki felt the problem didn't come from her side, she must have felt there was no harm in putting more fuel in it. Hence, the audio leak. But the audio leak isn't the only thing holding Meek and Diddy to their homosexual relationship controversy. An old video also surfaced online, showing Meek in an uncomfortable position in the pool, while Diddy hailed him about being a good boy and some other cringe stuff.
Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you.
Nicki Nicki must have truly had no other choice but to take a step out of the way so that Meek and Diddy could have a good time together. It's a lot of information to take in, but we are slowly getting used to Diddy surprising the public with the wild activities he has been involved in for years. He seems to be adding more celebrities to his unending drama. It's more than the exposure of the personal lives of these celebrities. It gets darker every time, and no one knows when it will be over just yet. But as for now, we can only hope there aren't any more victims of Diddy's alleged crimes. So do you think Nicki must have been scared of Diddy, and that was her reason for not spilling the tea on his character earlier? Or do you think Nicki just didn't want to involve herself in the messy situation? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel or turn on post notifications so you don't miss out on celebrity news updates.